a school teacher, right? And he actually gave us a grade. And he said, if I were to grade you like I was grading a student, I gave you a B+. And he said, I demand A+. I said, well, we only do A+ work, so we're gonna keep doing it.
And instead of a hot tub for $7,000, you got a beautiful water feature that I guarantee you everybody that comes here, there's not a single person that delivers a package or comes to your house that doesn't say something about this. All right, apparently we're seeing another pondless. Well, you look like a retired shop teacher. This guy's a retired shop teacher.
I try to.
Pond guy, Greg.
Greg,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, what, 5 years ago? How long ago?
Four or five?
Good to see you.
I don't know. Good to see you, Brian. Brian's a masterpiece.
I trained him well.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
That's good.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
You enjoy it?
Oh yeah, very much so.
You're gonna love this one. It's really cool.
Checking out another pondless waterfalls. Wow, what a nice, how long have you lived here?
43 years.
43 years in this house. Wow, look at that. That is exquisite. Wow. Look at this space is probably what, 12 by 15 or something?
Yeah.
In between the house and the garage, and yet you were able to fit a beautiful little water feature. I love the stepping area.
Yeah.
It's just that sound.
Oh yeah. It's just perfect. Draws the birds.
The design of it a little tricky, right? Because this is the main pathway to get to the back of the house.
Yeah.
We couldn't really put a big bridge in because it would be overwhelming to the space. So the stepping stones work out really, really nice.
Right.
And then you've got this tight space, you know, the garage, like you said, the garage here, the house over here. And then the first thing that happened is when we made the first waterfall was way too tall, and the sound was actually
because it echoed.
It was a roar.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't.
This is a perfect,
relaxing.
perfect sound right now. You got it dialed in, and I love that frame rock right in the middle. Yep, I would agree. A+ work. Good job.
See, that used to be a ledge that went across, and the water kept building up behind it. And in the winter, it would get into the cracks and freeze. And finally, that piece just tipped down, and that's what caused the cataracts. That's the story I tell.
Yeah, the cataracts.
Grandchildren love the stepping stones.
Yes, yes.
That was, we had originally talked, like Brian said, a bridge, but it became very obvious that we needed to take and have a little pond with a pondless waterfall. It has to look like there's a reason for it.
I think it's terrific.
Yeah, I think both Bob and I agree that you know, a lot of the pondless waterfalls, they just come and disappear into gravel.
Yep.
And I feel like it has this magic feel, right? Like where'd the water go? And so we always want that water to kind of swell up at the end. So we do that trick where we just put a bib liner over the top of the aqua block, and then we can kind of let that water swell up so there's a little bit more standing water down here. And then Bob says he's seen all kinds of birds. You know, you wouldn't believe it, but like, they find this little nook in
Sound,
here.
I think the sound is part of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what a great idea, just taking an annual basket.
You got to take the lid off.
Yep.
Put a little plant on top of it. Yeah, that is really cool. And then you got a bulb out, you can adjust the sound.
Yep.
Right.
So Brian, what would an installation like this? What? First of all, how many tons of rock? How long would it take our guys, and what would it sell for?
So this is a one-day project. I think we did it for like just over 7.
I believe so.
Just over 7. All hand-selected moss rock. You know, Bob knew exactly what he wanted, so we had to go out and pick this rock and that rock, especially the stepping stones. You got to make sure that they're flat enough and you're not going to trip over anything. It's a one-day project for about 3 guys. It's really tough to get more than 3 guys in a space like this. You're just kind of falling over each other.
And instead of a hot tub for $7,000, you got a beautiful water feature that I guarantee you everybody that comes here, there's not a single person that delivers a package or comes to your house that doesn't say something about this, right?
That's right.
What else could you put in a yard that would have this much of an impact? And especially a 10 by 12 space like this, nothing. The smaller the space, we like to say, the bigger an impact a water feature has, because it just fills that with life. So this is what I love so much about this. I have never met Bob. He's had a aquascape water feature for 4 or 5 years that Brian created for him. But just to see how people live. This was a retired shop teacher, and he was telling me about the woodworking shop that he has. Well, let me see it. And then I go, this long lot that he built this was in his retirement. He's been retired now for 18 years. And this is his shop that he works in. It's unbelievable. And this is what's fun for me, is to not just see how customers live the aquascape lifestyle, but how they live, period. So cool guy, teacher, shop teacher, which is what I think this world needs more of, because kids need to get their hands on stuff to actually learn how to do things. But check out, he built this entire wing with an underground cave to connect the two of them right over here, and this is his shop. Check it out. This is pretty incredible, huh, Brian?
Yeah, this is impressive.
This was one of your dreams, right? You said when you retired, you saved up enough money. You live off of your pension, but you saved enough money to have your own woodworking shop. This will actually lift up.
Oh yeah, that goes all the way up.
Hey, this is a tunnel that goes to your other house.
That's right straight through if you look through that.
Yeah, let me see this. This thing will lift up. All of this for birdhouses. Yeah. I can make a birdhouse in my garage.
No, you couldn't. Now, I can stop this at any level, and I use it as an assembly table.
Nice.
So now we're at the top level, and anything can roll on there. I can walk on there.
What's the weight capacity of it?
2 tons.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big hydraulic scissors lift.
Yeah.
The only downside about these visits is I don't want to leave. It just completely relaxes you. You know what? Hopefully you're going to get a little bit of that coming over on YouTube. But if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow along as YouTube as we visit relaxing places with cool people.
I don't know if you can see this, but do you see the wavy marks like all over the side of the house right now from the reflection of the sun?
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool.
At certain times, that happens inside the house too. And I only knew that from living with the pond myself, because it happens at my pond.
Look at the bubbles though, that's kind of neat.
So
good to see you. Hey.
Guido, this is Greg, the owner of Aquascape.
I've met you before. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Well, how many years ago did we build this for you now?
Probably about 10.
Wow, it's been that long?
Yeah.
I remember we had to get all of the stuff in through the garage.
Yeah. He commented on these right away.
Yeah,
yeah.
They look great.
Yeah.
That's your wife, huh?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to incorporate these. But where we're rock guys, he loves rock more than us, I think.
For real, that's cool. A
He
doctor
said
that loves rock.
There's no way you could put enough rock in the front yard, and really he's right, because by the time all this stuff is grown in, you don't see it as much.
Exactly right.
So I'm traveling with Brian, seeing some of our greatest jobs. We haven't even gone more than 2 miles, today visiting, and of course I've always remembered this one, so we wanted to showcase it for our vlogs that we're going to upcoming for people, how they live the lifestyle.
Sure,
just
absolutely.
to expose people to it. So we appreciate you letting us check it out.
No problem.
Look at that view right through the house, right here.
I'm pretty sure when I came to meet you the first time, it was just to do basalt columns.
Correct.
Right?
Yes,
and that's how it evolves right there. Hey guys, hello. This is what it started with, and this is what it evolved into.
exactly right.
And then we had a rainstorm that popped out the aqua blocks.
And then we
were
did some
here.
additions and some other stuff.
Yeah.
This is not a small project. This is an incredible project. I love this, just like at my house, is that we got inspired by. And that originally came from Ireland, right?
Original idea was my grandparents had horses. Like I had a horse farm, and the old cattle crossing, horse crossing. So they would put these grates so the horses and stuff wouldn't leave the gates. And so that was the first time we did. And then we did it in Ireland, and then we did it at the Wilderness Lodge, and then we did it here.
Yeah.
And everyone's a different variation.
Yes,
but
I love it.
this one looks cool just because he's got all the
Such an
bluestone.
awesome space. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at the tree growing right in the middle. So cool. That is so neat. This is such a unique design. How did you end up coming up with this?
Well, I think so many times people try to work against the natural topography of a yard.
Yep.
And the topography here just called for it to go this way, but you still wanted to design it from inside the house.
The first thing you see when you walk in is you see right to the water in the back.
So when I met with the Maras the very first time, we sat inside there, and as we sat at the kitchen table, we kept looking out. And so the basalt columns are obviously visible from one angle in there, but bringing the pond right up to the foundation of the house was really important for me, and I think for them too. And the idea is, I don't know if you can see this, but do you see the wavy marks like all over the side of the house right now from the reflection of the sun?
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
At certain times,
Bubbles.
that happens inside the house
Yeah.
too. And I only knew that from living with the pond myself, because
Yeah.
it happens at my pond.
Look at the bubbles though, that's kind of neat.
Like a lot of my favorite designs too, it's creating mystery. And so you're drawn to it from inside the house, but then you want to see where it goes, and you keep discovering. So almost like you did, like look at these steps, then look at this tree, then look at this pond, and it keeps going and going and going, pulling them into the rest of the yard.
It just keeps going, yeah. That's right, so it'll draw you out.
And look at the ginkgo tree, like growing out over everything.
Yeah.
So Matt with Wasco, another one of our partners, you know, we work with Wasco Nursery quite a bit.
Yep.
He came out and did all the landscape. And then Guido's really into it too, which you can see.
You guys entertain a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, people just come back here.
Look at he's even repurposing some of the containers from trees. That's awesome. I would know that because I've done the same thing. But look at how awesome these big giant boulders are.
It's incredible.
And the biggest obstacle, Greg, with this job, if you remember, was every single rock had to come through his garage over there.
That was.
So this whole patio had to be removed
Yep.
and drive over the crushed stone, and then the patio had to be relaid to put it back in. There's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
But it was worth it. This is just truly a one-of-a-kind work of art, custom creation. And your wife's a landscape architect, huh?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
So
yeah.
she worked with Brian a little bit on this, and this is her.
Yeah, a lot of this original stuff was from her ideas.
How long have you lived here?
We've lived here since '97.
Oh, wow.
So obviously this pond, you know, overflows, and this is the bridge that goes back into their house. But as you come down these stairs, you'll get a better appreciation of how nice this waterfall is, which is why we created this little seating area here, because the view of that waterfall is so much nicer from here rather than from up there. And so not having this small little bench area here to really appreciate that view would be silly and wasted, right? If you can see this, look at how it disappears underneath the canopy of the redbud and everything else. And you're like, where does it go? And then it keeps going. So let me show you the rest of it. We built these stairs that kind of take you off into the rest of the yard. He's got a cool little shed over here. And we took the water even further than that, and we piped it underneath this ramp that goes up to his shed. And so this area down here is actually a 5,000 gallon rainwater harvesting system. So the pumps and everything for this sit up there. He borrows water from this to then irrigate some of the landscape that we've put around the pond here. And all of those booster pumps and stuff sit inside the shed. You can see we did some stepping stone bridge here. I didn't want to do the same type of bridge we had up there, but this step stone pathway takes us across and access to the side yard over there.
So what a cool visit. Been here 4 or 5 times before. This is a longtime customer of 10 years. And Brian, this is a whole rainwater harvesting system too, right?
Yeah, actually that's the last bell and whistle on this project. There's a 6,000 gallon rainwater harvesting system down below.
I love it.
Yeah.
Guido, thanks for the hospitality.
We'll see ya.
Hey, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow along as we visit cool water features with unique stories and neat people. It's fun.